Real truth daily. This is Daily Truths with Dave Allman.
But not only that, you have purpose. If you ask somebody on the street in downtown Boulder, on the Pearl Street Mall, what's the purpose of life? You'd get all kinds of answers, wouldn't you? Right? Well, the purpose of life is to be happy, or the purpose of life is to make a good living, or the purpose of life is for people to think well of you, or the purpose of life is to be successful, or the purpose of life is to do the best you can in life. The purpose of life is to find a mate and raise kids. The purpose of life is to be healthy. The purpose of life is to take care of our bodies. I mean, you can get 101 different answers, but none of them probably are going to be biblical. If I were to ask you, I know it's an existential question for sure, but if I were to ask you what's the purpose of life, really, it's these two things: to know Jesus Christ and to make him known, and to glorify God with your life until he calls you home. I didn't mean to rhyme that, but it rhymes just the same, okay? To know Jesus Christ and to make him known, to glorify God and live for him until he calls you home. Everything is secondary to that. And so it really doesn't matter how much money you make, or how successful you are, or how many letters are behind your name. And by the way, I remember going to a church down in Florida, and this guy, I won't say who it was, but it was a pastor of a large church, and he was a very successful pastor. And on the cover of the bulletin, it had the name. So the name of the church was in very small letters at the bottom of the bulletin, but the name of the pastor was in big, bold letters right in the middle of the front cover of the bulletin. And every degree he had ever gotten was after his name. PhD of this, and masters of that, and BA of that, and BS of this, all this kind of stuff, all his degrees. Do you know what? It doesn't matter how many degrees you have. When we leave planet Earth, we leave all of that behind. And we can either listen to the worldly philosophy of what life is all about and what the purpose of life is, all the stuff that I mentioned before, or we can say the purpose of life is to know Jesus Christ, to make him known, to glorify God until he calls us home. Which purpose are you identifying with today?
Thank you for tuning in to Daily Truths with Dave Allman. Pastor Dave Allman is the pastor of Mount Hope Church in Boulder, Colorado. If this ministry is blessing you, please consider supporting us by sharing this channel with a friend. You can also like, comment, subscribe, or leave a review. This helps us tremendously. Come back tomorrow for your next Daily Truth.